Hello, horror fans, and welcome once again to the Horror Beats. Tonight, I'll be talking about Gods and Monsters. Now, the movie Gods and Monsters is a biopic based on the book Father of Frankenstein about the last days of James Whale, a famous director for obviously Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. If you haven't seen the movie, just in case you haven't seen the movie, it also deals with Mr. Whale's homosexuality and how at the time it was a big taboo, a topic that not a lot of people wanted to talk about because society didn't understand it or accepted it. It's also the story of how Mr. Welles meets his new gardener, Mr. Boone, Clayton Boone, and they both create this friendship that they see that they both need at the moment. Mr. Welles not looking for a partner, but a friend, somebody that he can tell or talk about his most intimate feelings to, and also Clayton Boone, who he himself had some skeletons in his closet that he never wanted anybody else to know. They create this friendship, but at first you can tell that Clayton Boone, his gardener, doesn't know much about Mr. Wales, and when he does find out of his homosexuality, he's very uncomfortable around him. He feels that maybe Mr. Wales has other intentions, which really that's not the case. It's not the point. Mr. Wales is, apart from him being who he is, he was a very lonely man and pretty much only wanted a friend to be there for a conversation, and that's about it. The movie also you see through Mr. Welles' flashbacks that he, apart from being director and behind the scenes in the production, the set, he was more involved in Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein because of his lifestyle. His life pretty much transcends into the films. You can probably get the idea that Frankenstein's monster is him, Mr. Welles. He's the monster that wants that acceptance, and people were just too ready to run him off, for him being that monster, and that's who Mr. Welles. You can tell that that's what how that related so much to him. So that was another good thing about the film, and it's a good movie, a good biopic. What I liked about the movie, apart from it being about the director of two of my favorite horror movies, which are Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, was how it holds a message, and how no matter how different you may be, or who people think you are, you're still human. You still have feelings. You still can get hurt, no matter how strong you may think you are. So that's another thing that I liked and that I got from this movie. Something that tells you that you don't need anybody else's acceptance but yourself. As long as you feel comfortable within yourself, who cares what anybody else thinks? And you can see that after Mr. Welles retires, and there's this party scene where he's not really into socializing anymore. He's more of a reclusive person who wants to live his life by himself because he feels that there's more freedom into it, that he can do as he wishes, be who he wants to be without a spotlight or people being there telling him what is right and what is wrong. So that's another thing I liked about this movie. I don't know how faithful the movie is to the book, because unfortunately I haven't read the book, but I believe it's pretty faithful. He got some pretty good talents behind it. Director Bill Canton, and he had executive producer Clive Barker. So, what's the relation between it's not quite a horror movie, but it deals with horror. I mean, it's a biopic about a horror director, so that's why it's here, and that's why I liked the movie and I enjoyed it. But as always, these are just my opinions. Don't take my word for it. If you haven't seen Gods and Monsters, or if you're gonna see it for the second time or third time, go ahead, check it out. You may find something you like. On that note, hope you like what you see. Thanks for watching. Now, on to the next video.